What is already Pretender here, back with another Honkai Star Rail guide, and as you do see, we do have the new anniversary Planar Fisher 300% drops. And so today I'm here with the guide on what you should be farming in order to fully optimize it. I do apologize, I am a bit late. I did forget this was coming out today, but I want to be sure I get it out on time to where it's still out on the first day. It's already been out for longer on EU and Asia servers. It came on NA a few hours ago, so you probably already used the first day, but if you watch this video, you'll be sure you're farming the right things and what to know for the future. That's all I want to say before I get to the video. If you guys found this video helpful in any way, shape, or form, drop a like would be greatly appreciated. If you're new and haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell icon for future videos like this, along with all other types of Star Rail content and guides, and let's get straight into the video. So I do have everything time coded if you want to make sure you want to go to a certain spot and see if you want to farm that. So if you need a certain specific one or a certain specific view, everything is time coded. So let's start off with the first one that has the Space Sailing Station and Fleet of the Ageless. I do not recommend farming this one just because it is relatively outdated. Space Sailing Station is never a set you're going to be using over others for practically any DPS. It will never be the best option. It's usually one that if you were playing in the beginning of the game or a few months after the game where you farmed it, because it was one of the best to farm back then, and you just have pieces laying around now and there's no point in actually going out your way because everything that is usually for a certain DPS is going to be better than this. So Space Sailing Station is never worth it. Ageless is more on the worth side. The only problem is it's now, yes, paired with Space Sailing Station. And Ageless itself is relatively showing its age. Usually most sets don't really go with Ageless anymore. It is a good set you still can use, but often if you want to use this, Lushaka beats it because it's a better actual attack percent given. This does give it to the team and also gives you some survivability, but Lushaka is usually just better in most cases. So overall, it's still a usable one, but it's not really one to be worth going out your way to farm. It's better to just use Relic Remains on it, which is why I actually don't recommend farming this. So the next one with the Talia set and also Vonwacq. This one is one I could recommend if you do actually have a break character that would benefit from the Talia set. So if you have Boot Hill or some of these Jiaoqiu, maybe you want to throw it on someone like Fugue or Linksha. If you have someone that would benefit from it, then I do recommend farming this because Talia for those break characters are good. Gives you up to a 36% increase in break effect if you do have 145 speed or higher, which is going to be good. And on the flip side, we do have Vonwacq. This is fantastic for going first, as it also gives you 5% ERR. And then, yep, if you have 120 speed or higher, you get a 40% action forward immediately upon entering battle. Super good for your actual maybe sub-DPS debuffers or your supports especially to set up right away before your DPSs actually act. So, such as putting it on Jiaoqiu, letting him skill it alt, set it up right away. If you have really high speed DPSs in battle, this will help your supports still outspeed them. Well, have less speed, but they still get to go first at least, so that's why Vonwacq setups are super good. Even if you're not going for super big zero cycle stuff, Vonwacq even as a general set is good. So if you do have break characters that would at least benefit from Talia, making this set valuable, then it is one I would recommend to farm. But if you have no one that would benefit from Talia, let's say you maybe have break, but it's breaks such as like Firefly or Himiko, where they'd be benefiting from Forge instead, then I wouldn't recommend it because then you just use Relic Remains on Vonwacq instead. Next one is the one with Pan Cosmic set and the Differentiator set. I do not recommend farming this one whatsoever, just because Pan Cosmic, it can be good. It's good on characters that are like, you know, based off effect hit rate. You can put it on Welt, you can put it on Dock characters, great on Black Swan and such. But honestly, it's really not something worth going even using double or now triple drops on, just because of the sole fact it is paired with the worst ornament or even the worst relic set in the game, Differentiator. This set is complete and utter garbage. You will never actually use this, so this is just one you will always throw away. It could be a godlike piece, you will throw it away. It's just not worth using. Pan Cosmic itself is not super valuable anymore either. There are characters that can use it, as I mentioned, but it's still something that if you really want to put it on those characters, you would once again just use your Relic Remains, because you don't want to waste the drops on another thing that has the Differentiator set, because this set is just complete garbage. So it's better to just use your drops on something else and then just use Relic Remains on the Pan Cosmic if you really need it. Next one is the one with the Belobog set and Salsotto set. The only reason I don't really recommend farming this anymore is just because for the Belobog set, there is only two characters that really use this in the game, being the Fire MC and Gepard. Gepard won't really see much play anymore, and Fire MC specifically is never going to be used. Fire MC is very bad. Especially now that if you use Fire MC, you can't use Harmony Trailblazer, who's super broken. You can't use RMC, who's super broken. So Belobog set has like next to no value anymore, and then Salsotto has good value. It's still good. It gives you good damage for ultimate and follow-up attack. It also gives you crit rate. But in follow-up attack character cases, which is mostly where you will be using it, that times it does get beat out by Duran. And Duran is definitely more valuable to farm. Only times Duran does get beaten out is if you can't get enough follow-up attack. So if it's a solo follow-up attack character that can't farm it too much, that's the only times Duran gets beat out, but that's very, very rare. So Duran usually outperforms Salsotto. Salsotto's still really good, but it's again something you'd use your Relic Remains on, because with Belobog set, there's practically no one using this, which is why I do not recommend it. The next one with Rutilant Arena and Broken Keel. This is definitely one I would recommend because it is still a very, very valuable set to this day. Both of these, Rutilant Arena is usually always the best in slot for any characters that do their main damage off basic attack or skill. Gives you 8% crit rate as well, and you just get a big 20% increase to your basic attack and skill damage, which is a relatively big damage jump you would be getting. And then on the flip side, we do have Broken Keel, which is still valuable. It gives you 10% effect res, and once you have 30%, it incentivizes building some effect res, so you get CC less at the same time. And you're also giving everyone 10% crit damage, and most DPSs in the game by now are usually crit based. So majority of teams, only times that it won't be beneficial is on a dot team or a break team. Otherwise, the actual 10% crit damage is very much welcomed. So as a supportive set, Broken Keel is still one of the best. And then again, Rutilant Arena for any basic attack and skill usage character is usually always the best, which is why this is one I would definitely recommend. Next one is the one with Glamoth and also the Penacony set. This one I recommend a bit less just because Glamoth is actually still really good. 12% attack and giving you up to an 18% damage increase. And with how many characters are built super fast now, 135 speed is a relative standard. And then at 160 speed in battle, especially now with DPSs we have, is very much doable. 18% free damage is usually best. When you can get to 160 speed, Glamoth for certain DPSs often outperform any other options. But again, it would just be the route of using Relic Remains, because Penacony, while can be good, there really isn't any situations nowadays where you would opt to use this. The only real situations is like using Ruan Mei with Jinglu, or using Blade with Bronya. Also using like Tribi with Castris, but usually that has better options too. Penacony itself doesn't really have the greatest value to use anymore. While still can be good, and since you can stack it, it could be good in those cases. There really isn't much use. It's not like a time where we use Mono Quantum either anymore. Mono Quantum gets beat out by other teams. Zele as a DPS or Kiki as a DPS, they have better options than running a Mono Quantum team now as well. So Penacony itself doesn't really have too much value. So if you want Glamoth specifically, which would be most cases, you would just use your Relic Remains. The next one, the Desolation set and also the Izumo set. So this one, usually I want to say it is worth farming, but the only problem is the Desolation set is only one you would be using in Pure Fiction, because outside of Pure Fiction, you're not really going to be able to get the full effect. And often this is never the best in slot for practically any character. It's only best for a Pure Fiction bot, so such as putting it on, you know, 4-star Herda and such. But it's not something you actually want to go out your way to farm, as usually there are better options that are going to be good in all three modes rather than just one. On the flip side, we do have Izumo, which is a good set if you are able to use it. Using it on the Herda with the other edition, using it with Topaz plus Feixiao or Topaz plus Ratio, you know, Moze, Hunt March, with the upcoming character Noxa, if you pair another edition with him or use him with the Herda. There's a lot of cases where you can actually use this. But it's another time where I would just recommend using Relic Remains, because you, again, the whole actual thing is you don't want to do the actual bonus drops on one specific ornament. You want to make sure you get values out of both of them, and then you just salvage the bad ones and make whatever else you'd want to potentially farm. So Izumo would be one you would just use your Relic Remains on when it comes to actual double or triple drops. And triple drops especially, because you're going to be getting significantly more, which is why I just recommend going for your Relic Remains on the Izumo set. Next one, Duran and the actual Forge set. So this potentially does have one of the highest farm values, as Duran practically covers any follow-up attack character, while Forge is usually the best. It is the best for break if you're able to actually use it. A lot of people own Firefly, a lot of people use Himiko, a lot of people want to use this on their link shot as well. So it's a bit more on the side that's less limited, because the thing with Duran is practically any follow-up character, as I mentioned previously, will be able to use this fully. There's only very, very select few characters that follow up very, very little, to the point they won't use it. And this is also really easy to stack if you're running multiple characters on that follow-up team, because it actually accounts for everyone on the team. So this is the best in slot for any follow-up attack character that's able to stack it up, and Forge is best for, you know, very common characters, Firefly, Himiko, Lingsho with one of those, Gallagher, and actually does become best in slot for break characters like Buto and such if they do have innate fire weakness. The only thing is you're not pairing them with Firefly, so you can't just implant it, and if they do not have innate fire weakness, then it's not the best, just because it becomes a 6% speed increase. But if they do have fire weakness, or you're running something alongside Firefly, it easily becomes the best, which is very, very common for most players. So if you are in the case where Forge is also useful, then this becomes one of the most valuable ones you can farm. Now the next one, this one is a bit more niche, but Lushaka and also the Bananamusement. I say a bit more niche on the Bananamusement side because Lushaka is very, 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 very good. And then giving 12% attack to the character that is positioned first on the team lineup is going to be good to any hyper carry DPS if that character does benefit from the attack. So you throw this on Robin, and then if you pair them with someone like Feixiao on a follow-up team who's going to be the main source of damage, or you're using it on supports on the Acheron team, you're giving it to Acheron who will benefit from it. There's a lot of cases where this actually does become very, very strong. Especially since it actually does stack. You know, if you give it to maybe 2 or 3 supports, they get the ER, and the character position in the first does get more and more attack. But even on its own, with just one person running it, is going to be good. It's good on practically any support. The only time you don't want to use it is if you are running a character like a break character, or you're running an HP scaler. So if you're running someone like Castress, you don't want to use this because she won't benefit from the attack. Or if you're again running a break character, you don't want to put it on a Buto team because Buto will not be able to really benefit from it, and so on. But on the flip side, the Bananamusement isn't actually worked on too many characters. The only characters who really benefit from it is Jingwan and Ageless specifically. It's their best in slot, and those are 2 characters that most people either don't have or don't use. If you do use them, then this actually becomes very, very valuable. You could also use it on a crit Linkshot build, but that's it. You would also argue that it could be good on Topaz, which it is, but Duran is just better for Topaz. So a crit Linkshot, it works. Aglia and Jingwan, it's the best in slot. If you are one of the ones using one of those, and so Bananamusement does a value for you, then go ahead and farm this because Lushaka on its own is very valuable, and Bananamusement would be valuable in that case. But if you're not actually using those and Bananamusement has no value to you, then farm something else. And then the last one with the Bone Ornament and also the Giant Ornament. This one is also situationally valuable because the Bone Ornament is the best in slot for literally every single HP scaling character. Fantastic for your damage on Tribi, best in slot for Mide, best in slot for Blade, best in slot for Castress. If you use any of them, you're going to get good value out of this. And then on the flip side, this is going to be the best in slot ornament for Hyacinth, but actually is super good for any actual current healer. Even if you can't get to 180 speed, which is going to be undoable for most people, it giving you 6% speed and still 12% outgoing healing at 135 is good. So if you're using someone like Luocha or Linkshot, it actually does do good on them as well. If you're running high speeds and you're also able to get 180 speed in battle to get the full 20%, it becomes that much better. And there are definitely setups where your healers such as Linkshot, Luocha, Gallagher, and so on can actually get it. But this is going to be the strict best in slot for Hyacinth made specifically. So if you are going for Hyacinth, or you actually do have a build where your actual healing output would benefit from getting this because maybe you're able to hit 180 speed in battle, or maybe you just want more healing, then this can actually become valuable. But on the flip side, if you do have HP scalers, then the bone set becomes valuable. But let's say maybe you have HP scalers, but you don't really have a healer and you're not going for Hyacinth that would benefit from this, then it's not really one you would farm. You just once again use your Relic Remains. And if that is the full video, so the general idea is to farm one that has biggest value for you. This does change from player to player, but if you have 2 ornaments that both would benefit from you, let's say again on the last one you are going to get Hyacinth, you want to build your supports or healers faster, then you would actually benefit from this. And then you also have Castress, Maiden, and Blade that would benefit from this, and also Tribi. Then it becomes more valuable. But if you wanted to farm this for Lushaka, but you don't have Aglia or Jingwan, then this becomes useless. So it's better to just actually use your Relic Remains and then also just get Lushaka from the Relic Remains. It really is just picking the one that has double value for you, getting rid of the bad pieces, and making something else that maybe you wanted to farm, but it's paired with another bad set. But yeah, once again, hope you guys found the video helpful. If you did, drop a like, would be greatly appreciated. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and turn the bell icon for future videos like this, along with all other types of Star Wars content and guides. And I'll see you later. Peace out.